Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're checking out a massive A-10 Warthog deployment. HOUTHIS are about to get hit hard. HOUTHIS?
I have no idea what HOUTHIS is.
I don't know what HOUTHIS is. But the A-10, we've done a few videos on it, haven't we?
Yeah.
They are absolute badass planes. So they're getting deployed. Something serious is going down. I don't know whereabouts this is. We're going to find out in this video.
Yeah. Are they sure? You sure that HOUTHIS are planes, not boats? I'm just going.
I don't know. I don't
boats
know.
On the...
No, HOUTHIS is. I'm guessing is like a military group or something like that.
Oh, because it's in capitals too. So
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, smash that button, guys. Smash the subscribe button. We're gonna figure it out. Oh, I know. If A-10s are going in, they're gonna cause some destruction.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. What have we got?
The Houthis have been poking the bear for far too long. Since 2023, they've launched 174 attacks on US Navy warships, another 145 hits on commercial vessels.
Ooh,
that's over
great.
300 direct provocations, and America has finally had enough. This band of terrorists playing pirates will soon learn what real firepower looks like, because the Thunderbolt is coming, and it's bringing hell with it. With a massive A-10 Warthog fleet coming their way, the Houthis are bound to regret ever lighting that first fuse. Let's talk about it. Now, the US fighting the Houthis, an Iran-backed militant group from Yemen, is not exactly brand new information. The group has been on the radar for years, stirring up chaos across the region. They've controlled much of northern Yemen, including the capital Sana'a, since 2014, and have spent the last decade battling US-backed forces while cozying up with Tehran. But recently, things have escalated and fast.
The only other time I've heard of Yemen, other than my friends.
Yeah, to be fair, Yemen does not get mentioned that often, does it?
I thought it was a made-up place. Obviously not.
Since late 2023, the Houthis have been targeting vessels in the Red Sea, sinking some of them, seizing others, and killing innocent seafarers in the process. And it's not just terrorism, it's economic warfare too. Red Sea shipping volume plummeted by 70%, and some companies were even forced to pay the Houthis for safe passage. It's maritime extortion, plain and simple.
Yeah.
The Houthis claim they're acting in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, but let's be honest, this isn't about aid, it's about power and profit. And so the US stepped in. Sanctions, interceptions, strikes, and then came the hammer. In March 2025, the US launched Operation Rough Rider, a full-blown campaign of air and naval strikes against the Houthis.
This is really recent.
March 15th and hasn't let up since.
This video came out 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
this is happening right now as we speak. Yeah.
Targets? Houthi radar systems, air defenses, missile launchers, anything used to attack shipping or US forces in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. The United States Central Command, or CENTCOM for short, calls it a 24/7 operation, and they mean it. The message couldn't be louder. The US is done playing defense. And this calls for a wide-scale force buildup in the region.
Yeah.
More ships, more troops, more firepower, and more A-10 Warthogs. On March 29th, more than 300 airmen from the 124th Fighter Wing of the Idaho Air National Guard deployed to Southwest Asia. And they're not showing up empty-handed. They're coming with multiple A-10 Thunderbolt IIs, affectionately called the Warthog, operated by the 190th Fighter Squadron.
The face on my front is awesome.
Purpose-built for sustained, punishing firepower. It's the kind of air support that turns the tide of battle and keeps it turned. And this isn't a brief show of force. It's a 180-day deployment, bringing not just aircraft, but a full package. Pilots, maintenance crews, and support personnel. This is a
long time.
Half a year. Fully committed and fully capable. They've deployed before, to Iraq, to Syria, to Afghanistan, and every time they've delivered. Major General Tim Donnellan, the commander of the Idaho National Guard, summed it up perfectly. Discipline, preparedness, and perseverance underpin the lethality these warriors bring to the warfight. In short, these aren't just any airmen. This is a battle-tested unit, now tasked with pushing back hard against the Houthis' aggression.
Okay.
Again, we don't know much. Oh, we'll just mute this while we talk. But we don't know much about the Houthis. But I'm sure they're regretting it now.
Yeah.
Like, the US is the last people you want to mess with, isn't it? Like,
yeah, you don't want to be. I'm surprised that they've done it in the first place. Like, that's brave.
I suppose it's one of them. They're getting away with it. They're getting money from companies and stuff like that to be able to go. I guess it was like the Suez Canal kind of area as well. And they're getting away with it, and they've just pushed it that too far, and that was like, oh, you've had to lose it all.
It's not good for them.
Not good for them at all.
124th Fighter Wing has a shiny history, and now it has a mission. Their Warthogs are airborne, and they're hungry. But they aren't coming alone. After all, a build-up of this scale isn't just about a few aircraft, no matter how effective they are. It's about sending a message that the US is all in. That's why the USS Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group is on its way to the Middle East,
Oh,
joining
the
the
aircraft
USS Harry Truman
carriers.
Carrier Strike Group. Yep, you heard that right. 2 carrier strike groups in the region at once. That's as rare as it
big.
gets. The last time this kind of power was on display in the CENTCOM area was back in September 2024, when the USS Abraham Lincoln and its support ships joined the USS
They could
Theodore
probably just fight
Roosevelt
them off
Strike
with just
Group
the
to
two.
deter Iran from
Yeah.
attacking Israel. This time, the Carl Vinson is bringing an entire support fleet, including guided missile cruisers and destroyers. These ships are the backbone of US naval power, and they're moving into position to
Wow.
pummel any threat in their path.
Yeah, you do
Meanwhile,
not
the
want to be
Truman
messing
Carrier
with them.
Strike Group has been in the thick of things since December 2024. The group has already intercepted dozens of drones launched by the Houthis, each one a failure for the enemy and a reminder of what happens when you mess with the US Navy.
Yeah.
And just to make sure no one gets any funny ideas, the US isn't stopping there. The B-2 Spirit bombers have also arrived on Diego Garcia.
You know,
an
just in
island
case you need them.
strategically positioned in the Indian
Why not
Ocean.
send everything?
How
Well, you may as
strategically,
well.
you may ask? Well, it's within striking distance of Yemen, and the terrorists controlling part of this country should be scared. Really scared.
Yeah, if
When the
they could
B-2s
just be
roll in,
bombed
they
at
bring
any point.
unparalleled stealth and precision, capable of delivering devastating.
Can't get over it. Look how
I
incredible
know,
they
that's
look.
massive.
That's what I mean.
But
it's-
look at them, like the soldiers compared to the.
Yeah, except you see it in the sky on videos, you think, oh, it looks quite big. But when you actually see it in scale with people, it's like, oh my god, look how badass it looks and how big it is.
Yeah, it looks like a little what's it called?
UFO?
Yeah, we're aliens.
Yeah, like an alien
Yeah, it
UFO
does.
kind of thing. It really does.
Devastating payloads at a moment's notice, and this isn't your usual show of force. It's a heavy, silent hand waiting to strike. The Houthis may be able to hide in the mountains, but they can't outrun the B-2s. They
No
also can't
chance.
escape the thunder from the skies, and they haven't been able to for a while now. You see, this new A-10 deployment isn't the first time the Warthogs have come roaring into the Middle East. These iconic aircraft have been a constant presence in the region, especially since the eruption of the Israel-Hamas conflict in October 2023. Since that time, A-10s have been cycled in and out of the region with staggering frequency, allowing the
I didn't
US
know
Air
that.
Force
I
to
didn't.
dominate the skies. The 354th Fighter Squadron, stationed at Davis Monthan Air Force Base in Arizona, sent its A-10s to the Middle East by October 12, 2023, only 5 days after Hamas's attack on Israel. They were welcomed
wow.
there by the 75th Fighter Squadron, already stationed at Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates since March 2023. And this was just the beginning. By October 24, 2023, the New Jersey Air National Guard's 119th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron rolled in,
Oh, they look
bringing
badass
additional
as well.
F-16s to the region. Earlier that year, in March 2023, A-10s had also arrived at Al Dhafra Air Base, reinforcing their role as the US's go-to ground pounders in the Middle East. With that deployment, the US had 6 squadrons in the region, 3 F-16s, 2 A-10s, and 1 F-15E squadron. That's a huge, sustained air power presence,
Yeah, it's
with
quite a lot,
A-10s
isn't it?
consistently keeping the pressure on the enemy. But these aircraft did more than just be present in the region, now and in the past. In 2020, A-10s were part of major campaigns like Operation Freedom Sentinel and Operation Inherent Resolve. These operations focused on degrading and defeating ISIS, and the A-10 played a significant role in striking targets that were crucial to the terrorist group's infrastructure. More recently, from December 30th, 2024 to January 6th, 2025, A-10s were directly involved in eliminating ISIS fighters hiding in caves in the Hamreen Mountains of Iraq. This is exactly the type of precision bombing the Warthog excels at.
Yeah, they can just get
well-hidden
in there,
targets
can't
while
they?
supporting ground forces. The A-10 is also essential when it comes to dealing with
That
rapidly
amazes
shifting
me.
combat
Yeah, it
situations.
Please somebody link us in the comments below a cool reviewing video, because I thought every time I see it, it blows my mind.
It still doesn't seem like how is that happening?
It is absolutely mad. So please, someone in the comments, give us a links may get removed, not by us, just YouTube removes them. We get a few comments sometimes like, why have you removed my comment 5 times? No, just YouTube does it. So send us the title in like quotation marks and let us know, please.
As seen when it assisted Syrian Democratic Forces in Deir ez-Zor, Syria, in late November 2024. Despite official denials, the Warthogs were seen providing critical air support to ground forces, ensuring that ISIS remnants couldn't take advantage of the
looks
chaos in the
cold.
region.
It does.
A little later, A-10s also helped counter Iranian-backed militia groups in Syria, keeping pressure on all the right enemies. Given how useful the A-10 has proven itself in the Middle East, it's only fair to look at this aircraft in more detail. So, what is the A-10 Thunderbolt, and why are the Houthis so scared of it? The A-10 Thunderbolt
think
2
anyone
is
should
a
be
true
scared of it.
I
force
think
of
so.
nature in the skies. This aircraft is the US Air Force's primary Close Air Support, or CAS, platform, and it's been saving the lives of ground troops since it entered service in 1977. Built specifically for low-altitude combat and close ground support, The A-10
That's
is
a nice colour.
affectionately called the Warthog.
Yeah, I imagine that's one of the original ones because it looks so different. But again, it just shows how dominant this plane is. 1977, it said, didn't it? So you think about all the upgrades, how many new planes you've got. This is still standing.
I know, that's crazy.
Since 1977, and it's still been sent out to combat now.
Don't fix something that doesn't need fixing.
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
For its distinctive, tough look and its habit of diving into danger with no hesitation. These unorthodox Warthogs come with a design that defies logic. The aircraft is built to endure brutal punishment while still completing its mission. It's equipped with 1,200 pounds of titanium armor protecting the cockpit, earning the name bathtub for the durable shield around the
What
pilot.
name?
This armor can withstand 23mm cannon fire and even some indirect hits from 57mm rounds.
Wow.
So while the A-10 is built to survive and even return to base with an engine out, half a wing...
This has nothing... This is perfect.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the video. But can someone explain? Like, obviously the military uniform is going to be camouflage, but like, it's camouflage that it helps you out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Why have they got bright red belts on?
Well, yeah, but they aren't
They don't wear them
combat.
out, right?
No, if they're going to a combat zone, I don't think they've got the red belt on.
Okay, I just needed to...
Yeah,
it was thinking in my head, and I thought, I need to ask this, because there's no way they go out with bright red on.
No, I think that's just...
Does that not defeat the point?
Yeah, I don't think that people go out anyway. I think some people just work out, like, the
Just for
aircraft carrying stuff like that, and that is their job. But I guess it's just standard to have camouflage on, and then they've just got red belts. Maybe that distinguishes what their jobs are at the carrier.
Yeah, my drink said stupid and splashed me.
But imagine, you wouldn't go to combat field without, hey, look at me, I'm the guy with the big red thing.
Like, that's going to be so easy to see.
So while the A-10 is built to survive and even return to base with an engine out, half a wing missing, or its hydraulic systems shredded, it's not invincible. Its redundant flight controls and self-sealing fuel cells give it a serious edge in asymmetric warfare, and small arms fire alone is rarely enough to bring it down. But against even aging surface-to-air missile systems, the Warthog can still take serious damage. Still, it's that legendary survivability, not invincibility, that makes the A-10 so feared. Because when the A-10 shows up, the odds may still be tough, but they're a lot tougher for the enemy. But that's not even the best part of the A-10's peculiar design. The aircraft's wings are massive, providing enhanced maneuverability at low speeds, allowing it to fly slow, steady, and low to the ground, while staying deadly accurate. While it typically operates at around 300 knots, about 350 miles per hour, the A-10 can fly even slower when needed, with a tail speed as low as 138 miles per hour. This ability to loiter around targets and strike at low altitudes makes it far superior to faster, less agile jets when it comes to close air support. The A-10's
staying around the area, isn't it?
Which cover about 50% of the wingspan, allow it to maintain control at these slow speeds, making it a perfect weapon for ground attack missions. Its high wing aspect ratio and honeycomb structure provide the necessary strength and minimal weight, enabling it to take off from small, forward airstrips close to the front lines, adding another layer to its versatility. In short, it's an aircraft built for one thing: getting up close and personal with the enemy.
Yeah.
The A-10's history speaks volumes about its success. This is more than just a plane, it's a savior. From the Gulf War to operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and now across the Middle East, the A-10 has demonstrated its unmatched capability in providing close air support. It's saved...
I mean, that's big praise. It's a saviour.
Yeah.
You can't get more praise than that, can you?
No.
What else can you say about it? It's a saviour.
Countless infantrymen and obliterated hundreds of tanks. When you hear ground troops talk about the Warthog, you'll often hear phrases like fearless, unstoppable, and even our guardian angel. As for the Houthis,
definitely could have
it's
done a
more
face
like
on the
the
back
angel of
as well.
death. But how many of these angels are there to rain down havoc? As of 2024, the US Air Force has 218 A-10s in service.
That's a
While
lot.
this number might sound impressive, the fleet could have been much larger had it not been for a turbulent history of budget cuts and missed opportunities. Back in 2007,
still quite a
the
lot.
Boeing Corporation won a nearly $2 billion contract to build new wings for 242 A-10s. But a missed deadline and a series of setbacks meant only 173 new wings were produced. That's only 70% of the needed upgrades. The result? A significant number of the planes were grounded due to metal fatigue, and as of 2020, 133 of the A-10s were non-deployable, a number that rose to 177 by 2021.
Yeah, you can't risk it if
The
it's
A-10
decaying.
remains an icon of American military aviation. One look at its specs and you'll understand why. This beast of a machine was designed with one purpose in mind: to bring destruction to the battlefield. And when it comes to the Houthis, it does so with relentless efficiency. The A-10's 30mm GAU-8A Avenger cannon is legendary, capable of firing an insane 3,900 rounds per minute.
That's
right,
mad.
almost
3,000 a minute.
Oh my god.
That, like,
They are so screwed.
yeah. Like, that's so hard to comprehend. That's 300 every 10 seconds.
Yeah, but they got 3,000.
That's way more than that.
3,000 a minute, and they've got like 200 and something planes.
Yeah, by the way, I know my math were completely off. It's like 200. Wait. Oh my god, I can't math right now. I'm so tired. I'm normally quite good at maths.
What are you trying to tell me?
It's like I think it's like 700 every 10 seconds.
I'm no good at maths. I don't know.
What's 700 times 6?
Well, 7 times 6 is
4,100.
40.
No.
42,000.
Oh my god, I'm so tired.
7
What the hell's
times
wrong
6
with
is
me?
42.
Yeah.
So whatever you just
No,
said.
it's just like 600 then.
I think we should
My
stop.
head. What the hell's
Maybe-
going on?
yeah.
It's 600, basically around 600 every 10 seconds. But I am good at maths, by the way. I hope my bosses aren't watching because
Aren't
that was
working.
really...
I don't think they are working.
In my defence, by the way, it's 9:30 at night, and we've had a long
I
weekend,
don't
haven't
think
we?
that if they are working.
My brain isn't working right now. I'm too amazed. I'm too amazed.
4,000 rounds in a minute, a rate so fast it could turn a tank into Swiss cheese before the enemy even realises what hit them. The Houthis,
Swiss
who
cheese.
heavily rely on fortified positions, would soon find themselves wishing for a lot more cover. After all, the Avenger is optimised for ripping through heavy armour with its depleted uranium rounds. When these bad boys hit, they don't just penetrate armour, they obliterate it, turning the enemy's defences
Ooh.
into their own worst nightmare.
Yeah.
The GAU-8 cannon is also incredibly precise, with 80% of its shots landing within a 40-foot diameter circle from 4,000 feet. That's an
That is
accuracy
very
level that leaves
precise.
little to chance. In the hands of a skilled pilot, the A-10 can surgically target enemy tanks, artillery, or even soft targets with deadly precision. But it's not just the cannon that makes the A-10 such a formidable opponent. The aircraft carries a vast arsenal of up to 16,000 pounds of ordnance, ready to be unleashed whenever, wherever. The variety is mind-boggling, from 500-pound Mark 82 bombs to AGM-65 Maverick missiles that can track and destroy enemy tanks from miles away.
Yeah, that's
The
mad that you
Wow.
can
ability to
track
carry
it.
such
Yeah.
a wide array of munitions means it can adapt to virtually any situation the battlefield throws at it. And if the Houthis thought they could stay hidden in bunkers, well, the A-10 has a solution for that too, with its laser-guided bombs and cluster munitions designed to flush enemies out of their hiding spots. It's the kind of firepower that ensures no one gets away. And this goes for both day and night. The A-10's unloaded range of 2,580 miles means it can cover huge swathes of territory during the day, while its ability to operate in low-visibility conditions, even at night with night vision imaging systems, ensures that there's truly no escape. When the A-10 is in the area, no hiding spot is safe.
Yeah,
With
well,
all
we
this in
stay
mind,
all
it might
night.
surprise
Yeah,
you to
it's
hear
true.
that the US Air Force is actually working on retiring its A-10 Thunderbolt II fleet. Yep, the very same aircraft that has been a ground force's guardian angel for decades is now on the chopping block. Since 2024, the Air Force has sent 39 A-10s to its notorious storage yard, known as the Boneyard, more than twice as many as the previous year. The plan is to retire the 200-plus remaining Warthogs by fiscal year 2029. So it's not just a phase. The A-10's days are numbered. This would be good news for the Houthis.
Let us know in the comments, is that actually going to happen though? Because I feel like when we've checked it out, it's always been a case of it was meant to be retired X amount ago. Meant to be retired X amount ago. If it now just goes and wrecks the Houthis, it's like, why don't you just keep them?
Yeah, if they still work, why are you getting rid?
Exactly, because I imagine to build this is probably it's probably should be ridiculously expensive, but a lot cheaper than to build a new modern fancy thing, which
But,
is going to
like,
do the same job.
It literally does the job by the sound of
Exactly,
it. So
just
what's the
repair
point?
some parts. Surely it's going to be cheaper. Again, please let us know in the comments. I don't know.
If they can even make it until then. Now, if you're wondering why this beloved workhorse of the skies is being put out to pasture, we'll break it down right away. Maintenance costs are a huge factor. As the A-10 ages, it's been around for almost 50 years after all, its maintenance bills have skyrocketed. The Air Force is spending $880 million just to keep the fleet operational into the 2030s.
That is
Each
quite a
time
lot,
one of
to
those
be fair.
planes has a gear-up landing, it's a repair bill ranging from $750,000 to $2.5 million.
Okay, that's quite
As
high.
former A-10 pilot Lieutenant Colonel Greg Montijo pointed out, problems like this are a regular occurrence, so it's becoming harder to keep those guns firing without issues. But
That
there's
makes
more to it
sense.
than just old parts and expensive repairs. The bigger problem is China. You know, the nation with state-of-the-art air defense systems that could turn the A-10 into scrap metal, according to some military experts. The Air Force recognizes that while the A-10 is still a rock star against low-tech threats like the Taliban or the Houthis, it simply wouldn't stand a chance against the kind of air defense systems the US might face in a confrontation with a major power. As Air Force officials have said, the A-10's lack of survivability in the evolving global threat environment makes it a poor fit for modern warfare. The fleet
Okay,
is
that's fair
already
enough.
overflowing with 7 different fighter jets, including the F-35, F-22 and F-16, not to mention future platforms like the F-47 and the MRX fighters.
I
With all
wanna
these
see
shiny
that.
new toys, the Air Force simply doesn't have the resources to maintain such a big fleet. The strategy now is to consolidate to a 4+1 fighter model, with the +1 being the A-10, which will eventually be phased out. When this happens, the A-10's precision bombing and close air support role will be handled by more versatile, faster jets that can engage both ground and air targets, although not everyone believes the A-10 can be replaced. Sure, the Air Force argues that other aircraft can do the job just as well, like the F-16, F-35, or
is it
even
just as
B-52
well?
bombers
Yeah, I
with their
don't know.
precision-guided munitions. The argument is that CAS is a mission, not an aircraft. As retired Air Force Lieutenant General David Deptula put it, if you're a friendly force on the ground under attack, you don't care whether the bombs come from an A-10 or an F-35, just as
True.
long as they do the job. But that view doesn't take into account the unique capabilities of the Warthog, especially in the kind of brutal close combat situations it's most suited for. The A-10 is a presence on the battlefield that no other aircraft can match. Its low speed, heavy armor, and most importantly, that infamous 30mm GAU-8 Avenger cannon make it irreplaceable
scary.
when you need to drop in low and slow, filling the air with devastating rounds while keeping the ground troops safe. Then there's the human factor. Retired Air Force Colonel Derek Oakes, who spent over 3,000 hours piloting the A-10, pointed out that while the F-15 or 16 might be versatile, they simply aren't built for the kind of pinpoint, low-altitude, close air support the Warthog provides.
Yeah, it's a
Oakes,
different
who's had
plane,
the
isn't
boots
it?
on the ground experience, made it clear, "I was not the expert in air-to-air," he said, "and I didn't want to be the expert. That's because A-10 pilots live and breathe close air support. It's what they're trained for, and it's what they excel at. The multi-role fighters, despite their prowess in other areas, just don't have the same edge when it comes to doing this job up close and personal." It's also hard to ignore the A-10's reputation for resilience. It's taken hits, sometimes severe ones, and still kept flying, something that can't be said for faster jets that might not be able to absorb as much punishment. The
Yeah.
Warthog is the embodiment of durability in a way that no newer aircraft, including the F-35, has been able to match in real combat situations. And that's why many lawmakers, especially former pilots, are pushing back. They argue that the A-10 is more than just an old relic of war. It's an essential tool that can't be replaced by a shiny new toy, no matter how versatile that toy is.
That's arguments for both sides.
There is, yeah.
Okay, I want to know your guys' opinion in the comments below. 1, whether you care or not.
Yeah.
2, whether you think the Warthog should be phased out. Or 3, whether you think the Warthog should stay.
That's it.
Yeah, I want to know. I'm intrigued because there is arguments for both sides.
Do you agree? Is the A-10 simply too epic to be eliminated from the US Air Force? And is this latest Houthi engagement perhaps a chance to demonstrate that the Warthog still has plenty of fight left in it? Let us know what you think in the comments section below.
Well, that is the
Whatever
end
the
of it.
case may be.
I've got another task. What if you see right in your comments right now? Put in hashtag to the end if you made it this far.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Well, if they did make it to the end, they'll be putting in their opinions.
Yeah, but people might have done that anyway.
Yeah, true.
So to separate the real legends, which I know there is a few real legends who will be listening to us waffle the whole way through, put hashtag to the end. Would
Yeah.
appreciate it. Enjoy that?
It was interesting, yeah, really interesting. They are definitely absolutely screwed.
Yeah, it's weird. We got off the HOUTHIS topic, didn't we, quite a bit?
Yeah,
But
but good luck to them, I guess.
well, no, we don't want good luck to quote unquote terrorists, do we? But
No, but like,
I know what you mean.
As a good luck, because
They're screwed.
I don't think they're gonna get very far.
Yeah, definitely. Smash that button if you enjoy, guys. Smash the subscribe button. Watch your video.
Have a fantastic day.
We'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.